All right, let's talk Warriors Kings. NorCal showdown. Warriors against the Kings in the first round of the playoffs. The Kings are the 3 seed. Had a hell of a season. Ending their playoff drought. It kind of feels like the We Believe year when I was a kid for the Warriors, except this team is the 3 seed. And the Warriors, you might think, are the underdogs. Who are you picking to win?
The Warriors. Yeah.
Me too. Are you kidding? Yeah. Like good seasons, Sacramento. Good season, guys. Yeah, good season, Sac. Yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to Mike Brown for good coach, man. He really turned that program around. Fox, Sabonis, they outstanding season, had a good run, but it kind of reminds me of when like the Warriors are the Lakers in the 90s and the Kings are the Kings, right? Like, yeah, okay, good job, guys, but I don't believe that. I feel like they're too young and inexperienced to have any kind of sustainable success in the playoffs. Draymond was just on talking yesterday about it, and this is kind of how the NBA is, and this is kind of why you don't like it during the season. But Draymond basically said nothing matters that happens in the season. The only way they're going to remember your team is by what happens in the playoffs. And the Warriors, all they really wanted to do, if Draymond believes that, who's the leader of the team, they probably all believe that. They're just trying to get in the playoffs, and now they're going to turn it up. They just beat Portland by like 57. GP2's back, Wiggins back. Like, good job, Kings. But I think the Warriors in 6. That's how I got it.
I like basketball because defense still matters in the playoffs. Like in football, I guess defense matters in the playoffs. Like ask the Niners. They got screwed up by the Eagles' defense. But once you get to the Super Bowl, there's no more defense. It's almost like an all-star game. In basketball, there's this thing called playoff basketball where all of a sudden the rules change. And you can hit people harder, and you can get away with more contact. It's stupid in a sense. Like the whole sport changes in the playoffs, but it does. And we've seen how the Warriors play in the playoffs. They play amazing defense in the playoffs. Yeah. So I don't really care what they did on the road this year, what their numbers were. They have Draymond Green. They got Gary Payton back. They're going to get Wiggins back. They still have Klay Thompson. They are going to play great defense in this series. Yeah. And I don't know what the Kings are. I mean, who do the Kings have that's going to lock anyone up on the Niners? I mean, excuse me. The Warriors.
Yeah, the Kings are good offense, man, but their defense that's not it. And here's the thing is, like, even the rotations. Kerr during the season, he's trying to keep his stars healthy. He's playing 10 guys, 11 guys sometimes. When you get to the playoffs, it's 7 or 8. It's 7 or 8 your best players. You're down to 7 or 8 of your best players. Lamb's probably not going to see the damn court. I barely at all. Like
it'll be off the bench. It'll be Poole. Well, essentially, if Wiggins comes back, it'll be Poole, Peyton, DiVincenzo, and
nice.
who's good, and then maybe Kuminga. Maybe we'll have to see what the young guys got. But that's 8 or 9 right there. That's it. That's your rotation.
That's all they're going to play unless the game's out of hand. I'm telling you, people, they sleeping on the Warriors. Like the Warriors, this is a professional. 4 out of the last 8 seasons, they've won championships. They know what they're doing here. They were trying to win as many games as possible while also keeping their stars healthy. Like Steph Curry would sit half the fourth quarter in like the first 41 games. Like it's not the same. So you're going to see a completely different team in the playoffs from the Warriors than you've seen throughout the season.
Also, like, I remember when the Warriors were coming up, kind of like the Kings are coming up. It took them a while to beat teams with championship pedigree in the playoffs. Yeah. Like, they lost to the Spurs. They lost to the Clippers, who weren't even a championship team. And I think those experiences built the Warriors into what they were. I mean, I think that's the way I say it. I mean, you were just arguing that for Michael Jordan, right? He needed all those losses to the Pistons to become the great player that he was. Yeah. So the Kings, like, you're really going to beat the Warriors in the first round of your first playoff. Maybe, but I don't think they're going to do to the Warriors what the Warriors did to the Mavericks 15 years ago. I just don't see it because that Mavericks team had a bad coach that got worked by Don Nelson. I mean, Steve Kerr is not going to get like that was Avery Johnson worked under Don Nelson, if I remember correctly. So Don Nelson was schooling his former underling.
Yeah,
it's the other way around here. Like Mike Brown worked for Steve Kerr. Like it's not going to happen. Mike Brown's not going to school Steve Kerr in this matchup.
No. And I like Mike Brown. He's doing great with what he has. But the talent level is just the pedigree, the talent level, the history, the resume. They don't match up. I'm sorry. Fox is great, especially in the fourth quarter. He was elite. He's elite in the fourth quarter, best player in the fourth quarter in the NBA, which is huge in close games in the playoff. But I just don't see.
Wait till you put Gary Payton second on him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's so important for the Warriors.
Even Dante.
Wait till you put Wiggins on Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, wait till you put Draymond Green on Sabonis. Like, they're just going to have a tough time. Sacramento's going to have a tough time.
Yeah. Warriors in 6, and I was being nice.
Yeah, it could be worse than that. William Bennett says, if Kyle trades Trey without a Super Bowl, he should never be a head coach again. Niner fans starting to get a little pissed. I understand. Patrick Moody says, do you think the Niners could trade the Vikings a 3rd-round pick for Daniil Hunter to be the other D end instead of drafting one? He can mentor Jackson.
That's interesting. I haven't thought about it much, man.
Hold on. Let me look. I mean, it's all about money. Let's see. Hold on.
3rd round.
Hunter. Hold on. It's pretty expensive. Also, there'd be a dead. No. Hold on. Trade. No, there would be $18 million dead cap hit for the Vikings if they trade him. They're not going to trade him. So trades are really tricky in the NFL. That's not going to happen. Josh Wyatt says Jordan made the league look weak, but it really wasn't. Jordan was just that good. Love Steph, but he doesn't make the rest of the league irrelevant. The way I look is like, I think the expansion really affected the league. There weren't enough great players to fill out all those teams. Now there are. Now there's more great players in the world than there were 30 years ago. But in the 80s, there were fewer teams. There were more rivalries. And also, if we're going to talk about rings defining who the greatest player of all time is, about Bill Russell. How many? I mean, he won in college. He won 2 in college at freaking USF. USF. Then he won $1 million with the Celtics. I think he lost 1. So, and people say, well, there weren't that many teams in the league back then. Yeah, but that means every team had really good players, and he had to go through Wilt Chamberlain, and frankly did it standing on his head. Made Wilt Chamberlain look like a nobody. So shout out Oakland legend Bill Russell.
I think I'm guilty. When it comes to Bill Russell, I'm guilty of what a lot of people are guilty of when it comes to Michael Jordan. They just weren't old enough to witness it. Yeah.
Exactly. Also, he wasn't putting up big numbers on offense. He was the quintessential defense wins championship guy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's an interesting conversation. The game has definitely evolved.